NacEdition. I'm McKenna Robertson.
And I'm Loshering Howard.
We've got a great show for you today. We'll see how SFA students are preparing for the future and what women are doing to defend themselves and celebrate who they are.
We'll also go to a board game event held at SFA, find a little bit more about the upcoming daylight savings time, and see what's up about the Sylvans. This is NacEdition.
The 2017 Spring Career and Internship Expo took place this last week at SFA. Students ready to take their education to the next level showed up in professional attire and ready to answer questions. Multiple tables from the companies both around Nacogdoches and around the nation were there for students to sign up for mailing lists, get information, and drop off their resumes. Recruiters also worked hard to make their tables the most interesting, with some sporting iPads and some in full uniform. Students could also participate in a LinkedIn photo booth to create their professional picture for their LinkedIn page. For those interested in attending for more events hosted by SFA's Center for Career and Professional Development, keep an eye out for the free shuttle service at the Texas Job Fair in Houston, March 28th. For more general information, please visit the Jobs for Jacks portal on the SFA website or follow their link below. They offer many services that go beyond traditional approaches to finding a job.
Monday, March 6th, the Student Activities Association at SFA hosted a Divas in Defense event. Divas in Defense was an opportunity for women on campus to learn basic self-defense. University Police Department officials came to teach moves to ladies that attended the event that would help them in case of emergencies. According to the National Sexual Violence Resource Center, 1 in 5 women are sexually assaulted while in college. The SAA is hoping to lower that number for SFA by teaching women to defend themselves against any kind of attack. The event itself was coordinated by SAA member Jasmine Bennett. She said the idea for the event came from watching crime shows and the importance she feels for women to learn about self-defense. She believes it is important for women to be able to defend themselves in emergency situations and also to give a peace of mind to women's loved ones. For more information on future SAA events, you can visit their website at sfasu.edu/studentaffairs and click on the Student Activities Association on the left-hand side.
Do you enjoy card games, board games, and rolling dice? If so, you'll probably want to check the SFA's Library Board Game Night. Here's Tristan Rouse with more information.
This month, SFA started their monthly board game night. Let's go find out a little bit more and play some fun board games.
If you're a fan of board games or want something new and relaxing to try out, the SFA Steen Library started hosting a board game night this month. Popular games included Scrabble, Settlers of Catan, and Pandemic, while lesser known but still just as fun games included Flux, Boss Monster, and Codenames. It was open to students and staff. A separate sign-in sheet was even in place to help fill in spots for those games that didn't have enough players yet. This event was possible because of Janie Richardson, who had a passion for board games growing up and wanted to bring it to SFA.
I thought it would be a good stress reliever, a good way for students to get together and have fun, a good way for students to interact with faculty and realize that we don't bite. The library is also a community space as well as a research space. So part of what I mentioned earlier, that sense of community, just a way to get together and have friends over, spend time with friends. And I do have a competitive streak, so I will cop to that. I used to play card games and board games with my grandparents, so it's a long-standing tradition with me.
The event started at 6 p.m. and lasted until everyone had finished their games around 9, and guests were served snacks. Keep a lookout for signs posted at the library for next month's board game night, as the date's still being worked out. They hope to continue these events monthly.
If you're interested in playing games like Flux or Roll For It, you can come on down to the Steen Library at SFA for their monthly board game night. Just keep a lookout on their website. This has been Tristan Rouse reporting for NacEdition.
Don't forget to spring forward. Daylight savings time begins on Sunday, March 12th. Clocks will jump forward by 1 hour starting at 2 a.m. The change will allow for more light in the evenings, however, you will lose an hour of sleep going into Sunday morning. Daylight savings was first implemented in the United States in 1918 during World War I. The law was repealed after the war as it was unpopular, and daylight savings time was only continued in a few states and cities. Daylight savings time was reintroduced during World War II and has continued to be a subject of confusion since no consistencies on when to change clocks. In 1966, the Uniform Time Act was established by Congress to end confusion. The Uniform Time Act established a system of uniformity within each time zone. When you switch your clocks forward this Sunday, March 12th, you can look forward to Sunday, November 5th, when daylight savings time ends and we get to fall back on standard time. Or you could always head to Arizona or Hawaii, the only states where daylight savings time is not observed. For more information on daylight savings time, you can visit the National Institution of Standards and Technology website, NIST.gov.
Last week, SFA's Office of Multicultural Affairs hosted the Celebrating Women's Perspective panel to kick off Women's History Month. The panel was held to discuss current issues and their impact on women. The panelists consisted of 5 influential women from SFA who all came from different backgrounds. Just a few topics that were discussed among the panel were feminism, technology's effects on women, and religion. The 5 women also discussed the personal barriers they had to overcome as a woman and offered advice to younger women following in their footsteps. The OMA plans to host more events celebrating women all month long and welcomes everyone at SFA and in the Nacogdoches community to attend. For more information on SFA's Office of Multicultural Affairs or their upcoming events, visit their website at sfasu.edu/multiculturalaffair or call 936-468-1073.
Have you ever heard of competing to cut down the biggest tree or throw axes? Well, that team exists. The Sylvans are the social forestry student club on the SFA campus that truly embark on some adventurous fun. This club is the oldest standing club on campus, recognized in 1946. Included in the annual competition called the Conclave is a component of physical and technical events ranging from archery and log chopping to timber estimation. The Sylvans at SFA not only practice their skills every Monday through Thursday, but compete every year to win the idolized axe and take it home. Schools all over the nation will go to compete at different universities from Mississippi State to North Carolina State. This elite club of official lumberjacks plans to compete for the axe this spring break and take home first place. If you are looking for some action with an axe and maybe want to learn more about forestry, go and join the Sylvans Club. Contact President Jeremy Stovall at stovallJP@sfasu.edu or go online to their website at forestry.sfasu.edu.
After the break, we'll hear about a new Nacogdoches podcast and how the town celebrated Dr. Seuss's birthday.
We'll also hear what citizens are doing to take care of the town and a recent blood drive. We'll be right back. This is NacEdition. Nacogdoches Director of Communications Amy Mahaffey, along with the Nacogdoches City Planner Larissa Philpott, have created a podcast, NacChat, which they record together at least once a week. Located on the 3rd floor of City Hall in downtown Nacogdoches, NacChat is a podcast based on current events and issues going on within the city. Because both women in charge of the podcast are aware of major things happening in Nacogdoches, they decided to create NacChat in order to keep citizens informed and give them a clearer understanding of things that are happening within the area. Although NacChat has only been around for about 1 month, there has been over 600 listeners and around 418 downloads on SoundCloud and iTunes. If you're interested in listening or downloading NacChat, visit their SoundCloud page or search for NacChat on iTunes.
One school, two school, red school, blue school. Last week, schools across the country celebrated Read Across America. Now its 20th year, Read Across America was started by the National Education Association and is celebrated annually in conjunction with Dr. Seuss's birthday, March 2nd. Dr. Seuss is the pen name for Theodore Geisel, a children's author who wrote and illustrated more than 60 books, some of the most recognizable being The Cat in the Hat, Green Eggs and Ham, and The Grinch. Nacogdoches helped celebrate with a reading night at the public library and located schools, each celebrated in their own way. One school, Raggett Elementary, celebrated with a week full of wacky events, including a door decorating contest. The Read Across America program serves to motivate every child to celebrate reading and, according to the National Education Association, is the largest event of its kind. For more information on Read Across America and how to celebrate in the future, you can visit NEA.org.
The St. Paul Cemetery in Nacogdoches held a citywide cleanup. Many people came to take part. Here's Lena Martinek with more on the story.
There are many cemeteries around Nacogdoches where loved ones are put to rest and you can visit them easily to pay respects. The St. Paul Cemetery is one of them and isn't as easy to find. Stephen F. Austin State University held a cemetery cleanup for the unkempt, historic St. Paul Cemetery. The project has been in the works for about 8 years. Led by SFA Geography professor Dr. Jeff Roth, many came to finish the job. The St. Paul Cemetery is one of the oldest cemeteries in Nacogdoches. SFA students and other Nacogdoches citizens have come to restore it. The St. Paul Cemetery is tucked away on the east side of Nacogdoches. There isn't a physical address to search for it. The gravestones have almost been fully covered up by plants and debris. Roth was determined to show Nacogdoches the importance of the neglected cemetery. Some of the headstones were for veterans, slaves who eventually became free, and other figures of Nacogdoches history that have been forgotten.
I talked to one of the women, and she said this project means the world because Rayfield was murdered after World War II, and we didn't even have a picture of Rayfield. Now his sisters have the grave back, and it feels like we got our brother back.
There was plenty for everyone to do at the site. Tasks included carrying large branches to chopping mile-high weeds, and work went on until the job was done. Along with learning the history, Roth and the other cleanup participants came because they mostly believed the cemetery had a story worth telling.
Because it's history and it's a part of Nacogdoches history, and I think it's important to really learn the history of where you're living and where you're from.
Roth said he plans to keep up with the restoration of the St. Paul area in hopes that many more people will get involved and start caring more about their town and its history. For NacEdition, I'm Lena Martinek.
It's that time of the year again, where allergies are a lot of people's worst nightmares. Amanda Barker has more on the story on why allergies are starting up again and ways to prevent them from coming into your household.
With springtime rolling around here in Nacogdoches, the pollen in the air has started to rise. The tree pollen we have been seeing everywhere, including our cars, is what is causing many Nacogdoches residents to suffer from allergy symptoms like sniffling, sneezing, and itchy eyes. The pollen allergies are caused by airborne pollens, which is the very fine yellowish powder released by the trees. Since we live in beautiful Nacogdoches, there are many different kinds of tree pollen floating in the air, causing people who may not usually have allergies find themselves sneezing every 5 seconds.
There are a few things you can do to help rid yourself of allergies and help prevent them from becoming too severe. One thing that is quite known is to simply go to the nearest pharmacy and get yourself some allergy relief medicine. There are different types of medications for the different symptoms, so make sure you're getting what you need. Over-the-counter pill medications work well to treat the basic symptoms, just make sure you're grabbing the ones that doesn't cause drowsiness. And nasal sprays are used to attack allergy symptoms head-on and are usually very effective. Eye drops are just used specifically for itchy, watery eyes, so if you find yourself with allergies, get the medicine that suits your conditions. There are also many ways to help reduce pollen around you and in your home. When you walk in, take your shoes off so pollen can't be tracked throughout the house. Or wash your hair before you go to bed and make sure it doesn't soak into your pillow. You also want to clean your pillowcases more frequently throughout the allergy season, so you can have a fresh, clean bed to lay in at night. When it comes to springtime, you also should try to switch out filters in your furnace and air conditioning more frequently. This can keep the air in your home cleaner and fresher. For more information, you can visit pollen.com. That not only gives you info on how to help with allergies, but it is there for you to check the pollen count for the day and week so you can plan outdoor activities accordingly and avoid the pollen entirely.
These are just a few tips to help you through the allergy season. If you stick to these, you may be able to get through the Nacogdoches springtime with ease and without a raw nose. For NacEdition, I'm Amanda Barker, and good luck out there.
Stephen F. Austin State University's National Sorority Delta 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 hosted their annual blood drive on Tuesday, February 28th from 1 to 7 p.m. In the Tri Delta Sorority House, sorority members as well as Nacogdoches residents gathered in the chapter room of the Tri Delta House throughout the afternoon to have their blood drawn. Those who participated in the blood drive also received a special treat after donating. The blood drive has become an annual event for the sorority, and according to chapter members, it has continued to be quite a success. The organization, Gulf Coast Regional Blood Center, was responsible for gathering the donations, and once complete, will send the donations to local hospitals in the nearby area. According to the Gulf Coast Regional Blood Center website, the mission of the organization is to partner with the community to save and sustain lives by providing a safe supply of blood components, and related services. For more information on Gulf Coast Regional Blood Center or how to help, visit their website at giveblood.org.
After the break, we'll hear from NacEdition's weather enthusiast Darian Schultz to see what the weather has in store for us.
All right, Nacogdoches, let's talk about the weather. So as you can see on the East Coast, there is a cold front that has been moving past, starting from the Texas area all the way up to the New England area. This is why you've been experiencing the rain lately. Up in Boston, it's raining and it's about 54 degrees. Move on down to Washington, D.C., we're sitting at 66 and cloudy. And as you can see in Chicago, it's about 52 and sunny. Let's move on to the Midwest states. As you can see in Wichita, it is sunny and 77. And look at Dallas, it is 74 and sunny also. And if you can look at Houston, it is also cloudy and around 82 degrees. As you can see in this area, there have been wildfires lately in the panhandle of Texas, Oklahoma, and in the states of Colorado and Kansas. This is why there's the fire advisory around that area. Let's move on to the West Coast. As you can see, it's partly cloudy and 77 degrees in Las Vegas, and there's a small cold front in the northern states of the West Coast, which is why the temperatures are slightly colder than the lower states. Let's move on to Texas. As you can see around Texas, it's kind of cloudy, kind of sunny around different places. 72 in Midland, about 71 in Waco, and in the DFW area, we're sunny at 75. And we're sitting at 72 degrees in Marshall. Let's look at West Texas. It is 81 degrees in El Paso, and also 79 in Fort Stockholm. Let's move on to the Nacogdoches area. As you can see, we're averaging about 70, 71 degrees in all of our county temperatures. Nacogdoches is sitting at 71 degrees and partly cloudy, 71 and sunny in Lufkin. We're sitting at 73 degrees in Jasper, and we're also sitting at 70 in Crockett. Let's look at just Nacogdoches. As of right now, it is 68 degrees, and the high will be 71. Our low will be 54 degrees. We will have a 0% of precipitation, and we will have 42% of humidity for today. Let's look at our 5-day weather. Expect some rain tomorrow through Saturday. Make sure you bring your umbrellas. We're sitting at a low of 61 degrees on Thursday, and our high will be 77 degrees on Friday. And for Sunday, it will be cloudy with a high of 66 degrees. If you want to do something this upcoming weeks, why don't you check out the Charlotte Davis Faculty Voice Recital, which will be held in the SFA Cold Concert Hall. And March 11th, it will be the Sculpture for Outdoors, or the SFA, exhibition and competition. And that will be at the Ruby M. Mize Azalea Garden. After the break, there will be a couple of activities to do in NAC involving a historic village and an art exhibit downtown. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to NacEdition. If you want to discover the history of Nacogdoches, there's plenty of places to find what you're looking for. This time, we went out to explore the historic village of Miller's Crossing. Nacogdoches is the oldest town in Texas. Have you ever wondered how it was back in the day? Well, at Miller's Crossing, you get a chance to actually experience it for yourself.
Well, it first opened in the late 1960s, or at least that's when it started. It was all started by a lady named Lyra Millard Thomas. She was born here in Nacogdoches. She was actually the first woman from Texas to serve in U.S. Congress in Washington, so she was a pretty special lady. And she started it in the late 1960s because so many historic buildings were being torn down, and she wanted to rescue and preserve them. So she moved them in, and then in 1970, she began opening it up to the public.
Wow, that's interesting. How old are all of the houses?
Well, we have a variety of buildings. Our oldest building out here is from 1837, and it's the Millard Lee House that used to sit right downtown Nacogdoches, right on the square. It's one of the oldest frame houses in Texas, so it was pretty special to preserve it and save it. It used to be where the Regions Bank drive-thru is now, is where that house used to be. And then our newest historic structure is our caboose, and it's from a logging train that ran in 1914 here in Nacogdoches County. And in between 1837 and 1914, you'll see a broad variety of buildings, from homes to businesses and farmhouses, townhouses, and everything in between.
Do you host any special events?
We do a number of special events throughout the year. I would say our three biggest events are our Easter egg hunt, which always takes place the Sunday before Easter. It's coming up this year, 2017, on April 9th. Then we have the Ghosts of Millard's Crossing. That's on Halloween night, when the ghosts and spirits of the people that lived and worked in these houses sit on the porches and pass out candy and tell their stories. And then our biggest event of the year is our Christmas event. Every year on the first Friday evening in December, we get over 100 volunteers out here, and the whole village is lit up, and we've got live music, live theater, games, craft demonstrators, a million things going on for our Christmas event.
For those who've never been, you can expect lots of hands-on activities like ringing the historic chapel bell, plowing in their fields, and writing with an antique quill pen. They offer guided tours with a minimum of 4 people, and even self-guided tours when you're on your own that allow full access to all the buildings. Miller's Crossing even offers the opportunity to rent parts of their village for weddings, photography shoots, and celebrations. What is your favorite spot in this historical town?
That's tough to say because there's so many wonderful places. I like in the mornings to sit on a porch of an old house and drink a cup of coffee, and it could be any of the old houses out here. Most recently, I've become really excited about our dog trot house, which is the first house on your left as you enter the village. It's a log home from the 1840s, and it's, we think, the third oldest dog trot style house in Texas that's still standing. It was closed up for years. We didn't have it open to the public because it needed restorations and renovations, but we were able to get some generous grants last year and finally open it up to the public for the first time in years. So I think that's my current favorite.
Why do you think this place is important for Nacogdoches?
Well, you know, and it's kind of the reason why this place was started. In the late 1960s, so many beautiful old homes and historic buildings in town were being torn down in the name of progress. And of course, progress meant fast food places, car dealerships, and grocery stores. And Mrs. Thomas, our founder, thought it was a shame. And she said, "We've got the oldest town in Texas. We're just destroying our history." And I love her attitude. She said, "If I don't do something, who will?" So it's important to rescue these old houses. Progress is good, but so is preservation. We want to connect the generations. That's part of our mission here. And we want people to see what life was like in East Texas in the old days, and you want to see the real thing, the authentic homes. So we preserve the houses, we preserve their contents, and we're able to show a slice of East Texas life from 100, 120, 50, 170 years ago.
What are some future plans that you have in store for Millard's Crossing?
We're always developing new exhibits. The house that we're in right now, the Burroughs House, until recently it was our visitor center. We've moved our visitor center to another building, and we're going to be turning this building into the doctor's home. In the old days, you didn't go to a doctor's office. The doctor's office was in his home. So the room that used to be our office is now going to be the doctor's exam room. We've got some wonderful donations and loans of old-timey doctor stuff, old-timey medicines and surgical instruments, some of them pretty brutal looking, and they're going to make a wonderful exhibit for us to have in this house, and we're hoping to get that open in just a couple of months.
You see, the Millards Crossing is a fun, educational, adventurous, and historic place for people all over Nacogdoches to come and see. Reporting for NacEdition, I'm Loshering Howard, and this has been another episode of Nac It Up.
The Ed and Gwen Cole Art Center will be hosting a closing reception for the Juan de Dios Mora exhibition on Thursday, March 9th from 5 p.m. through 7 p.m. The exhibit has been open to the public since January 26th, and artist Juan de Dios Mora will be present for the closing reception to say a final farewell to the Cole Art Center and get a chance to meet and speak with fans of his work. On the second floor of the Cole Art Center, the exhibit features several of the artist's most popular pieces, including both prints and paintings. Mora's work primarily focuses on his Mexican heritage as well as his own personal experience with immigrating to America and incorporates this into his art. Nacogdoches residents are encouraged to attend the free event and have one last final look at the Juan de Dios Mora exhibition. Refreshments will be made available for attendees. The Cole Art Center is located on the corner of Church and Main Street in downtown Nacogdoches. For more information on the Cole Art Center or the closing reception, visit their website at art.sfasu.edu or call 936-468-1131. That's it for another NacEdition. I'm McKenna Robertson.
And I'm Loshering Howard. See you next time.